Welcome back, Truth Seeker. I got a can't miss story we got to go over. And again, just this shot here of Oprah and Kamala. Remember the Upload show from 2020 put out by Amazon out of Seattle in the 42nd state? The very first episode at the beginning shows a poster in the background of Kamala and Oprah with 2024. Almost looks like they're the president and VP. And now Trump wins it with 312 electoral college votes, the Chicago area code where Oprah's out of, where Kamala had the DNC, where Barack called his political home, where Candyman was connected to through that film, Cabrini Green projects opened up in 1942. Anyway, this is the story right here that you can't miss. Former Harris staffer calls on Biden to resign, install Harris as first female president. The man who said this was, where's he at? Where's his name at? Jamal Simmons. And if you look it up, his birthday is July 21st. Remember, that's the day that Biden passed the torch to Kamala, July 21st, 2024. It's funny, it was his 53rd birthday that happened, and 53 is a number associated with the feminine. Covered that in my first book, Letters and Numbers. All right, so just to read a little bit about this, former communications director, Vice President Kamala Harris, former communications director for Vice President Kamala Harris, Jamal Simmons, surprised a CNN panel Sunday by suggesting President Biden step down to allow Harris to serve as the first female president. Remember, Kamala Devi Harris and Joe Biden both equate to 152. The first President's Day when they were in office was on 15/2. Pass the torch equals 152. The motto when he did pass the torch on July 21st. And if you go way back to March 19th, 2000, that was the day the Simpsons episode came out where Lisa Simpson was the first female president. That episode came out 152 days after Kamala's October 20th birthday. And of course, she was wearing purple with the pearl necklace like Kamala wore on Inauguration Day. Also, what the Whore of Babylon's described as wearing in Revelation 17. But anyhow, Joe Biden's been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises he's made. There's one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure, Simmons said on CNN's State of the Union. Again, this was said earlier today, Sunday, November 10th, 2024. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days, make Kamala Harris president of the United States. The panel, including host Dana Bash, reacted audibly to the idea. He continued, it would absolve her from having to oversee the January 6th transition of her own defeat. And it would make sure it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency are doing things the public want to see. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats operate. Remember, something we've talked about since the beginning is we've expected Kamala to become president during this term because Gerald Ford said the first female president will not be elected. It'll happen when an old man's the president and he dies and there's a younger woman who's the VP. And again, Gerald Ford said that October 18th, 1989, Kamala Harris was born. He said that in the Herbert Hoover Library on that day. And Kamala Harris was born the day that Herbert Hoover died, October 20th, 1964. So anyhow, it goes on. This has now jumped from an internet meme to a Sunday morning show, Bash responded. Fellow panel member and CNN commentator Scott Jennings remarked, Jamal's out here writing a season of House of Cards. Oh, isn't that funny? Isn't it funny how we've been talking about that? How Francis equals 47 and Underwood equals 47. Now Trump's number 47, and that was the hit show the first time he ran. And again, Trump, tarot cards, top cards in the deck are Trump cards. There's 78 cards in the deck. He wins at age 78. The insurrection was 78 days after Kamala's birthday. When Bash asked Simmons about Harris' chances of being nominated to the Supreme Court, he reiterated his call for Harris as president. This is something within Joe Biden's control. If he did it, it would, again, fulfill his last promise and give Kamala Harris a chance to be the 47th president of the United States of America. Remember, Lisa Simpson equates to 47. Kamala spoke at the DNC on the death anniversary of Huey P. Newton, who died at age 47. Joe Biden took office with Obama when he was 47. He could now connect to Kamala becoming number 47. When Joe Biden became senator-elect in 72, that was the 47th U.S. presidential election. It would disrupt all of Donald Trump's paraphernalia, right? He'd have to rebrand everything and make it easier for the next woman president not have to hold all that weight of being the first, Simmons said. Remember, Gerald Ford says once we get a female president, it'll be tough for a man to ever be elected again. Go back and listen to Gerald Ford's speech, October 18th, 1989, 2 days before Kamala's birthday. Again, in the Herbert Hoover Library, the man who died the day Kamala was born, because all this stuff is that planned out. Simmons also floated the idea on his X account. And don't you just love that this guy has the same birthday as when the torch got passed? I mean, what a joke. Joe Biden has been amazing, but he should fulfill one last promise to be transitional. Biden should resign and make Kamala Harris the first woman president. It'd turn tables on Trump, keep Kamala from presiding over January 6th, make it easier for the next woman to run, Simmons wrote. Dems have better policies, but we must realize the old rules no longer apply. We are not playing table tennis. We are in mixed martial arts fight, and Americans respond to drama and excitement. We should use that to make our arguments for a better path forward. Well, he forgot to say it's all scripted and rigged. He left out some key details there, but they sure do love their drama. Simmons' comments came a few days after a CNN commentator suggested Justice Sonia Sotomayor step down for Biden to replace her with Harris before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. Okay, and just for one other thing, this whole thing with Oprah, you guys, her birthday is January 29th. That means the election was 281 days after her birthday. That's the 60th prime number. Like, again, Kamala's 60. She started dating Willie when she was in her 20s, and Willie Brown was 60 years old, and we all know Donald Trump equals 60, and what he did to his ex-wife exactly 60 weeks into the Jesuit Nation year before announcing he'd run in this election. But remember, 60 is the 42nd composite number, and Kamala won 42% of the Electoral College per the selection, per the numbers they've given us. And again, just all this ritual planned so long in advance, so many evil things connected to it. Kamala's mother died on the 42nd day of the year when Obama became president, February 11, 2009. Again, Biden passed the torch to her 42 months after they took office. The wrestler Kamala died exactly 42 weeks after her birthday, 2 days before Biden made her the VP nominee. That same wrestler also lost to Omega right after Trump's 60th birthday, shortly before Kamala's 42nd birthday. That was back in 2006. Remember, it was 116 days before her birthday, like the election was called for Trump on 11/6. Manchurian Candidate 116, the book that came out 4,700 days after Trump was born. But yeah, we've been saying this, that if Kamala becomes president before Trump, it'll just be like the tributes to the Harrisons. Again, it was a Harrison before Grover Cleveland's second term, and the shortest presidency in U.S. history was Harrison, and that was 1 month. He died on April 4th, 1841, 1 month into his term. But yes, Joe Biden would not finish his term, just like JFK didn't finish his term when he was killed at 46, the nation's first Catholic president. Joe Biden II, number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, after what he did to Beau Biden at age 46. And then they told you it was brain cancer. And don't forget, she was supposedly how Beau Biden was supposedly the way that she met Joe Biden for the first time, because they were both big shot lawyers, Beau Biden and Kamala. But yeah, they even got to have Oprah and Orange. Orange has that gematria of 60 as well. What a joke. And you know what else is one more joke? The last state that was called for Trump that put him at 312, the Chicago area code, was Arizona. Arizona equals 42, and Arizona was the last state out of all the states to recognize MLK Day. You know, racial. Martin, 42. Trump took Michigan, where the 248 area code is, while the country is 248 years old. And the 248 area code's Oakland, Michigan, like Kamala came up in Oakland. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. But remember this story right here from Jamal Simmons. Until next time.